Hello, my name is Josh, and I'm a watchaholic. Welcome to Horology Insanity. What is up, my fellow watch addicts? Today we have a little bit of a treat. We are looking at the Casio G-Shock All Stealth Black GA 2100. Now, let me go ahead and get the hang tag up here so that you can check that out real quick. Here's all the information. MSRP, $99. But you're going to be honest, or I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know that you can find these. And if you find them on eBay or somewhere, I think they're going for a premium. So if you want one that bad, your value equation changes a little bit because you need to not just take into account it's 99. Let's just cover that up because I don't know, you might be paying more than that. I'll check eBay, see what you can find online. But here's the model number. Let's get into it. Check this out. I do not want to do a review of this watch. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you about my experience with it, and then I'm going to compare it to a whole bunch of other watches. Now, the first thing that you're going to notice in the experience that is this watch is that every little speck and dust that gets on this watch, because of its just stealth nature, right? The stealth color scheme, and because it has like no anti-reflective coating on it. Right? But every single piece of dust that gets anywhere near this sticks out like a sore thumb. Now, you may not have OCD, you may not have Asperger's, you may not have any of these things that makes your brain go nuts when it sees a giant speck of dust on what otherwise is a beautiful and clean watch. But I do. Now, I have a list of reasons. So the reason I don't want to do a review of this watch, and you should know, I'm not selling this watches. I don't sell watches. Well, I do sell watches, but I'm not selling this one, and I'm not trying to sell it to you. And in fact, the comments, I might get a lot of hate for this. I'm going to tell you that this watch is not the watch to get. Now, there are some reasons. There's pros and cons, right? There's pros and cons to everything. And what I would say is, there are several reasons why you would want to buy this watch. And I'm going to talk about them like they might be a little derogatory, even though I don't mean to, right? But here's the trick. I'm not cool, right? I'm just old enough to where I don't care, right? And I'm just, I don't know, I'm not cool. And I'm okay with that, right? My confidence is not lacking in any way, shape, or form. And so what I would find is if you are cool, you might like this watch. I think a bunch of cool guys like this watch. And the studio lights, like I almost wish I could dim these or give you what the watch looks like in person. So let me see if I can roll in a couple of photos of what this watch actually looks like in real life when you're wearing it on your wrist. Because I assure you, the legibility that you're seeing right here, right? The legibility that looks like, oh, I can tell time on this. As soon as you get it on the wrist, you can't. No, you can't. I mean, maybe a younger person with fresher eyes, but my wife has 20/20. Actually, they say better than 20/20 because of LASIK. And I pulled this out of the box and I showed it to her, and her first words were, "But you can't tell the time on it." Yep, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, if you don't need to tell the time and you're wearing this for a fashion accessory, go for it, right? If you're wearing it to be cool because it's all stealth black, and I think that's a trend going on. Again, I'm not cool, so I don't even know what all these trends are. Go for it. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you some comparison watches that I would get instead of this watch. The first and foremost is its twin brother, whatever model this is. But you notice that it's the blacked out one with the white hands and white indices. And the legibility. I mean, you've got to be able to see this even under the studio lights. Like, side by side, when you put these on the wrist, it's not even a comparison. Like, you can't come close to seeing the one on the left compared to the one on the right. So anyway, that's the first one. I'll throw in model numbers or technically, you know, my beautiful and lovely wife who edits my videos. She'll throw in some model numbers here for you. Oh, you can see, look at that dust up there on that one. So maybe it's just the dust on anything black that throws me off. Although I will clean that later. But yeah, first off, you know, if you want to actually be able to tell the time on your watch, then you want the one with the white hands and the white indices. The stealth one, you just can't read it. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Another, this is a sibling, but not a twin brother. This is the yellow variant. We'll throw the number up here again. But again, notice that this one does not have the stark white indices like the first one. Let me see if I can get all three of these in real quick. All right. So you'll notice that the indices are almost in a gradient fashion from the darkest on the left. And then you've got like a gray medium on the middle with some yellow accents. And then on the right, you've got like it's actually not white there. It's a very, very, very light gray. So let's see if I can just get this up here real quick. Let's see if you can see it without any glare reflection. So you can see this. Let me do this. Okay. Oh, look at all the dust. Okay. But yeah, you can see that they're not white. They're very, very bright and light gray. But anyway, let's back it out. Let's get them all up in the shot again. Okay, so let's look at these. Tell me, just take 2 seconds. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. And in 3 seconds, I want you to open them, and then I want you to tell me which one you can tell the time on. 3, 2, 1, go. All right. It wasn't the left one, be honest. It wasn't. All right. So anyway, so I would say get this one. This is actually my personal watch, right? Well, the yellow one's my personal watch too. The black one is not. It's in on Watch Tour. Big thanks to Random Rob, the Patreon group, and whoever donated this in. If I have links or descriptions to that, I will include those in the description below. I will also include links to Rob's video and everybody else's video for this so that you might be able to get more information if you want it. But anyway, this is what I want to do. I want to do this comparison. All right, now here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to switch it up. I don't have any more GA21s, but let's talk about GA21s real quick. Other variants that I've seen or experienced or that I desire, and a little bit of thoughts on those. So the red variant, right? So along the lines of this all stealth black one, there's a red one. It's got red hands, red indices. It's completely red. I'll try to throw a picture of it up here. To me, I'm not experienced it in person, but to me, I expect it to be not legible like the stealth one, right? I expect to not be able to tell the time on that red one. And my guess is that the people wearing the red one, again, you're probably cool, you're probably young, you might be trendy, you probably don't care as much about telling the time because, I don't know, you may have like an smartwatch or something on your other wrist, or you just sit in front of a computer all day or sit there and play with your phone. So you don't need to actually use your watches for telling the time, right? Yeah, I think you have to be of a certain age maybe for your natural reaction to just like look at your wrist for time. But anyway, so the red one, I'm probably not going to recommend it. Now, there are a couple of other ones, not only that I'm going to recommend, but that I want. There is a camo version. So it's kind of black like this. It's got a camo looking bezel, octagonal bezel, and it has an orange accent on the Casio G-Shock logo. And then it's got like some off-white or a little bit darker than this hands. Maybe they're similar to this yellow one. And so I'll throw a picture of it up here, but I want this camo one. My buddy Kevin has one, or at least he had one. I think he did a video on it. I'll include that link below as well. And Kevin, if you're watching this and you want to sell me your camo one so I can add it to this beautiful collection of GA2100s, I would love that. I think they're currently sold out. But anyway, the other variants, I'll just throw some screenshots up here, some pictures of what you will see when you go look at all of these. The other one that I really want is the Christmas edition. So there is one that I believe it's black. Random Rob has it. I'll post a link to his video, but it's got green and black alternating indices. And I want it just to watch it or to wear it at Christmas. Now, my wife has said she's going to veto that one. She does not like the Christmas one, and yeah, I love it. I don't know. I'm gonna get it. So, but I'm not added that to the hunt yet, even though it's in the list. It's about midway down the list of future purchases. I don't know. Any of you other watch addicts, do you know what the next 10 watches you're gonna buy are? I do. And I have them in a list. Not only do I have them in a list, I have them in a list of prioritized order for which they're going to be bought. But like many other watch addicts, I need to sell a couple to engage some funds to buy the new purchases if I'm going to stay under my budgeted amount. Yeah. All right. Watch addicts unite on that one, right? That's the question. Comment down below for me. Do you know what your next 10 watches are? Do you know what your 10 next 10 watches are? All right. So here's a couple ones. I'm going to switch it up real quick. We've got the infamous, I don't know what this model number is. We'll throw it down in the I don't know, somewhere down here. This one is the Combi bracelet, which is amazing, by the way. If it were up to me, almost every G-Shock would just come on this Combi, and specifically this version 1. I believe there's 2 versions. I will do a video, if I've not already posted it or done it, of comparing these. So I have the version 1, I have the version 2, and I've got the AliExpress version, we'll call it that. And this version 1 is where it's at. The problem is you can't buy them, at least as of right now. Casio's not selling them separately. And so you've got to hunt for them, either from somebody who bought this model. So this is the one that came with it. And you either have to go buy this model, or you have to hunt on eBay or in some of the Casio and G-Shock Square groups on Facebook or on the forums to get someone to sell you one of these. And they're not cheap, right? They're going for around $100. Sometimes you'll see them go for upwards of $120 or so. You can get them as cheap as maybe 70, 80 bucks. I don't know that I've seen them much less than that. If you can get one for 80, I think you're doing okay. Again, at least at the time of this video, hopefully Casio starts putting these out, for you to buy as an accessory. But anyway, so everybody knows this is like the 5600 or 5610, whatever it is, square. And everybody complains that they think this negative display is going to be unable to read or illegible. Illegible, I think that's the word, illegible. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't find it. Now, I think some people's experience might be different than mine, but I've had this puppy out in full sun in the dark. Now, of course, I use the auto light feature. I don't know if it's gonna kick on here, but I will say that the auto light feature helps. Right, when I turn my wrist and the light turns on. The GA2100 does not have the auto light. So if you watch any of the other reviews on it, some of the top complaints you're going to hear, I don't know about complaints, let's say feedback for future improvements, right? Casio, if you're watching, listen up. It really needs to have the tough solar dial. It really needs to be tough solar. There's no reason that it shouldn't have tough solar. The other one is it's got this cheesy light down here in the bottom left LED. And hold on, we're going to turn the lights off real quick. I'm going to show you this thing. Okay. One, there's a loom shot. I'm going to be honest with you, that looks way better on camera than what you'll actually see in real life, right? In real life, it's pretty poor, and it's only on the hands. So if your watch is upside down, something like that, you won't know any kind of orientation of the watch direction. So if you're camping or something like that, you're not gonna have much luck. But thankfully it has a light. Now here, I'm gonna click the light, and so you can see the digital part. It basically lights up the digital part in the bottom right quadrant of the dial. One, it doesn't last that long. Maybe it's set for 2 seconds or 4. We'd have to see. But you'll see that it doesn't really, I don't know, it doesn't do a whole lot. So I might roll in some B footage of what a real watch that has lights on it. I've got a Casio Illuminator that is absolutely fantastic. And I wear it like when we go to the movies, for example, because I can use that joker as a flashlight, but without interrupting the people around me. which is pretty cool, by the way. Our local movie theater, they serve dinner while you're watching the movie, and it's actually really good food. It's really good food, but the trick is you can't see what you're eating whenever the theater or the film goes dark. And so I use my illuminator to help my wife and I see our food. Anyway, we'll roll in some beef film of that, but I'm going to turn the lights back on. Watch your eyes. Okay, let's let the camera focus and adjust back. But yeah, so unlike the G-Shock squares, who are going to light up the whole dial, unlike the illuminator, which you're going to see is going to light up the whole dial, the GA2100s, you get this little bitty light, right? And just doesn't do it. So, yeah, in my opinion, those are the two big ones. But I do want to do a comparison of these two to let you know that with the G-Shock Square, I do not find the negative display to be hard to read. I don't. And so if you do, right, I don't know what that does or doesn't mean for the GA2100 Stealth. But yeah, I legit can barely read this thing, right? So anyway, so there's those. Now, another one that is similar, but up a whole nother price tier. I mean, in fairness, that 5600 on the Combi I just had is up a small price tier. But this one, oh, we've got lots of dust on it. This is the metal, right? The black metal. This is not the titanium, right? I do not, well, I've got some other titanium, but I don't have this black in titanium. I can point you over again to Rob's video, and there's several other folks in the group that have it and they love it. But I've got the steel black, which is awesome. But again, the negative display, look how legible it is. And this one's even more legible than the one on the Combi. Let's take a second here. Compare those. Look at that. Look at how much better and brighter the module is on the metal. So anyway, this isn't a G square or whatever video. This GA2100. I'll try to get back on track. I ramble a lot. But yeah, look at that. So if you can jump up to this price here, and you can find these for less than MSRP, right? You just gotta know how to shop, you gotta know how to hunt. But yeah, there you go. All right, now I'm gonna switch things up a little bit. I would actually go this route. So if I wanted something like this Casio, I mean, unless you're getting it just because it's octagonal, because of the Casio, I don't know, again, I'm not cool. I think that kind of stuff is lame. But the whole, oh, I want a G-Shock version of some fancy pants vintage watch. What's it called? The Royal Oak? The AP Royal Oak? I don't know. I don't get it. I'm not a Royal Oak fan, maybe. But I would go this route. This is a Casio Quartz. This is a cheap and expensive one. I'll put the model number in here, but this is much larger, mind you. But they make smaller versions of it. They make a 40 mil version of it. This is the larger one. I think it's like 43 mil. But this is so much more legible. So much more legible. Now, part of that is because of the giant dial, right? But a lot of it is really just the hands. If they would have put this color hands on this G-Shock, this watch would be fine. But it's not, right? When you put them side by side and you actually look down and try to tell time, you're going to see it. So anyway, go with this one, or if you have a smaller wrist, there's a smaller version of this watch, and they're cheap. They're a fraction of the price of this G-Shock, and you can find them at Walmart, on Amazon. I'll put links below if I can find some. You know, they might, if I can get the what do they call it, the affiliate links going, I'll do that, right? So anyway, there's that. Now let's get this back on the screen and let's look at the next one. Here's my other recommendation. This is about the same price tier, and completely different watch though. Completely different watch. So be ready. Boom. The Orient gray dial. Again, I don't know what model this is. We'll tuck it in here, but look at that brush case. I'm pretty sure it's stainless. I don't think it's titanium. It looks like titanium, but it's not titanium, I don't believe. And if it is, I'll put a giant correction on the screen. But no, look at the legibility difference on these two watches. I mean, it is night and day different. And so for about the same price, you know, you can go with an automatic Orient. It's the lower tier movement, right? I don't believe it hacks or hand winds, but you know, you can get by with that. The Seiko shuffle, right? You can get by with that. So yeah, I would jump all over this Orient before I jumped over or tried to pay, much less pay a premium. I'm gonna be honest with you. If I could get this Stealth at MSRP at $99, I still wouldn't buy it. If that tells you where my value proposition is. My value proposition, I'd pick one up for 40, maybe 50 bucks, 40, maybe $50. I know I can be frugal, right? But yeah, at 99, I'm not seeing it. At the premiums they're going for, I am definitely not seeing it. So anyway, check out this Orient. That might be a good option for you. Now, couple of other ones. I'm going to go completely different direction here, but I'm including this one just for the styling of it. So this is the Bauhaus style, very simple. Now this is a Cadison. Cadison is a Chinese special, and you can get them on AliExpress, maybe a couple of other websites. I do not recommend GearBest, by the way. I used to use GearBest and I won't any longer, but AliExpress, as long as you get a good seller that's reputable, you should be okay. And but the Bauhaus style, even in all of its simplicity, it's still more legible than the Stealth G-Shock. So maybe I should name this video all the watches in the world that are more legible than the Stealth Casio G-Shock GA2100, whatever. Yeah, that's what I'm going to name this. So here you go. So again, I would go with a Bauhaus style, even a cheap Chinese one, right? Maybe before I went with this Casio. And that's going to be sacrilege. Let me know in the comments how crazy I am. I get it, but that's where I'm at. And now we're going to go not just 1 or 2 or 3 price tiers up, but we're going to go to a Grail level watch. And we're going to go to a Grail level watch that carries a black kind of aesthetic to it, but is way legible. It's super accurate. It's from a way legit brand. And let's go into this. Yes, this is the Zen 104 black dial. It is absolutely amazing. And so what I would do is I would take the however much you're going to spend on this Casio, and I would put it in a savings account, and I would get this beautiful Zen. And if you shop used, you can get these at a decent price. They hold their value really well. So they hold their value well. So you have to, I probably wouldn't buy it new. I bought the blue limited edition. And so if you can jump on one of the limited edition ones, maybe buy that new. Watch Buys is the US authorized dealer. And they're the only one that at least currently. So that's your option if you're going to buy new. But if you're buying on the used market, you can find these all over the place. And as always, just buy the seller. But yeah, I would jump all over this in any day of the week, even if I had to hesitate and not enjoy a new watch for a period of time. And I know that that's debatable too. Everybody's going to be like, oh, save up and buy the fancy one. Oh, and I don't even agree with those people most of the time. I think you should do whatever you want to do. You know, as long as you ain't hurting nobody else and you're not going into debt or bankruptcy, you're not lying to your wife. Don't do that trick where it's like, oh, I got a new watch. Let's see if I can sneak it into the watch box before she finds it. Don't do none of that. That's why the divorce rates is ridiculously high as it is, right? Don't do that. However, shy of doing some of those atrocious bad things. No, do what you want. Do what you want to enjoy. And that includes buying this Stealth black one. As much as I've spoken against it, and as much as I would not buy it, again, unless it's, for like a 20, right? No, if you want this watch, go get it. And I suspect if you look at this and you watch this video and you make it to this point of the end of the video and you still go, you know what? I still want that Stealth Casio. Then you should get it. You should totally get it. Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Thank you for participating. Please comment down below. Tell me how crazy I am. I will try to interact with y'all the best that I can. And as always, let's keep in mind what really matters, and that is not watches. See ya. Today we've got a little bit of a treat. This, as you can see, is the all stealth black G-Shock GA 2100. Oh, look at that, I've got it upside down. Let's try all that again.